Bethany Karchner. In this video I'm going to show you how to make a dimensional background with chipboard. I'll meet you in my studio. Okay, now this technique is the 3D background with chipboard, and I'm just taking a plain piece of chipboard and I also cut out some circles out of some more chipboard out of a cracker box. And I've got my decoupage glue here and my paintbrush, and I'm just going to glue down these pieces of chipboard onto my background. Alright, so I glued down all of my chipboard pieces that I just cut by hand, and now I'm going to take my gesso and I'm going to paint over it. I do this because I like my paints to be real bright, and because this background's gray, it kind of grays up the paints a little bit, so the gesso kind of gives the paint just a running start and gets it more opaque. Also, it helps it stick even more because, you know, if the glue is sticking out or if I leaked some glue a little bit, the gesso covers it up and helps the paint to adhere even better. So make sure when you're putting your gesso on that you go around the edges too, because you're going to have little edges there too, because you're making a 3D thing, so you have to watch your edges when you do that. There we go. Okay, and then make sure you let your gesso dry when you're done putting it on so that you don't whiten up your paints. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry and then I'm going to paint it. My gesso is dry now, and now I'm going to paint my background, and I'm just going to show you something real fun that I like to do. I like to use my acrylic paints almost as a watercolor. So I'll take a brush and I'll get it real wet, and then I'll start with the lightest color and just kind of dip my brush in there, dip it in the water again, and then just kind of paint it on. And it just gives it a real pretty light look. And I'm not real careful, as you can see, real light. Okay, I'm done with that color. Now if you don't want the two colors to combine, then you're going to want to let this dry first. I want my colors to combine just a little bit, so I'm just going to use my second color, get my paintbrush real wet, dip it in, a little bit more water, and then I'm just going to kind of combine it like this. Now, when I do this, I always like to kind of, you know, make sure that the colors go all over. Don't just have like a real, like this to me is a hard edge here. So I like to kind of continue my color that way. There we go. So I don't have any hard edges. So I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to paint more on these. Okay, now this is not totally dry yet, but I'm too impatient to wait. So you can kind of see how it looks right now. Now I'm going to take some of this Glamour Dust, which is a glitter paint, and my brush. Now I'm going to dry it off just a smidge because the Glamour Dust paint is already somewhat translucent because it's just like a glitter basically. And then I'm just going to kind of add some glitter to various areas. I don't think I really like it on that white part, so I'm going to take that off there. I'm going to add it to my more blue areas. Kind of like the white there, just like how it is. So anyway, you can really fiddle around with your acrylic, your basic acrylic paints. If you have any specialty paints like the Shimmers paints, those are absolutely beautiful on something like this, and would work really well. So you can see just how pretty this can get. And of course you can add your stencils to it and do that. Just some really beautiful things. I think I'm going to add a little bit more of the yellow here. Take away some of the white. There we go. Alright, so that gives you an idea. Now once it's totally dry, if you want to really accentuate these circles here and really have them pop out, then just take a basic pencil, or even if you want it to be real dark, you can, or kind of like a funky look, you can take your Sharpie pen and just trace around them. I like a pencil because I like kind of the softer look, and just your basic #2 pencil that you used for school when you were a kid. So anyway, that's a fun background to do with just garbage, basically. So thanks for watching.